So then, if you awaken from this illusion and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, or shall I say, death implies life, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. What you are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time, or any length of time you wanted to have. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure you could conceive. And after several nights of 75 years of total pleasure each, you would say, well, that was pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control. Well, something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. And you would dig that and come out of that and say, wow, that was a close shave, wasn't it? Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now. You would dream the dream of living the life that you are actually living today. That would be within the infinite multiplicity of choices you would have, of playing that you weren't God. Because the whole nature of the Godhead, according to this idea, is to play that he's not. So in this idea then, everybody is fundamentally the ultimate reality, not God in a politically kingly sense, but God in the sense of being the self, the deep down basic whatever there is. And you're all that, only you're pretending you're not.
We are all interconnected. Hello to you all. We are streaming live from Maastricht, which is in the south of the Netherlands. We all love Alan Watts. We all love him. Yeah, the world is not about love anymore. It's about hate, right? Well, we're here to spread truth. Not only love, but also truth, right? So, of course, we're going to look at politics and geopolitics. And we are streaming live from Maastricht, which is in the south of the Netherlands. This is where the euro was made. Basically the Eye of Sauron, you know. But, you know, the real evil in our country is in The Hague, right? So here we have Rotterdam, here we have The Hague. That is where the corruption is. And, you know, evil people ruling over us, right? So they're all World Economic Forum puppets, even in the Netherlands. And there's not much to talk about because they're on vacation, right? So no Dutch politics here. We are going to look at what's happening in the United States. I saw a very interesting video of Miss Harris saying something that, you know, everyone should know, right? About a certain country, Ukraine. Ukraine is a small country right next to Russia or something along those lines, right? So we're going to take a look at that. Let's dig up the video. Here we go. Trump plays viral gaffe supercut of Kamala Harris on the Jumbotron. Now, let's see what Kamala has to say here.
Competent, and in my opinion, has a very low IQ. But we'll find out about her IQ during the debate, okay? Let's find out about her IQ. So, you know, we have this great system. I want to show you just one other thing, please. Do you mind putting it up, please? Thank you.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
So
now, wait a minute. Wait 1 second here, right? Ukraine is a small country. Russia is a big country. Russia invades Ukraine. Thus, Russia is bad. Now, wait a minute. Let's look at the map again. And let's see which country is bigger, right? Over here, we have Russia, which has 8 time zones, the biggest country in the world, something like that. And then comes Canada. So this is Russia, you know, Ukraine, Belarus, Europe. Now over here, we have a small country named Iraq, right? And let's compare Iraq to the United States. Now, which country is bigger? Is it Iraq? Or is it the United States? Oh, Russia is bad because they attack a small country, right? Right, Kamala? Man, really? The US lied about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Remember that? Remember the Downing Street memo where Tony Blair and George Bush came together to think up a reason to invade Iraq. You know, they wanted to use a drone and color it over in UN colors or something like that. You know, and hope that that drone would be attacked by Saddam. You know, that was one of the reasons why they wanted to attack Iraq. You know, they thought up some reasons, you know. So you may think that I'm thinking this up, right? But we're going to show an article, and we're also going to read the article, right? So here we go. Wait. How Bush and Blair plotted war in Iraq. Read the secret memo in full. So we're going to read the first few lines. Editor's note. In April 2002, Tony Blair, the Prime Minister, British Prime Minister, visited U.S. President George W. Bush in his ranch, Crawford, Texas. The weekend meeting has been identified as a key moment in the build-up to the U.S.-led invasion of Iraq in March 2003, but details of what was discussed between the pair have remained a matter of speculation. We're not going to read the whole article, but, look at this, read more, nah, never mind. It's a big article, but, they basically are playing poker, saying, let's put in this card, right? That's not going to work, You got weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, that's going to work. So Kamala Harris is basically saying Russia is bad for invading Ukraine, whilst America was plotting with England to invade Iraq, right? So who is bad in this situation, right? Who's bad? Is it Russia for invading Ukraine? At least they have, a reason. If you look at Kiev nowadays, you'll see Bandera statues, and flowers around those statues and stuff. Bandera was a Nazi who killed a lot of Russians and Jewish and stuff like that. I'm not making this up, right? So the people in Ukraine hate Zelensky, right? We're going to take a look at a video I saw on Twitter, or X, basically, where we have a Russian news commentator, I guess, Diana Pachenko, and let's see what she has to say about Zelensky and how Ukraine is nowadays.
Hello, friends. I've just received some very important news and decided to immediately make a video. We can save people if the world pays attention. Does anyone still doubt that this is the war between good and evil? After the Olympics opening ceremony, even the skeptics can't fully deny it. I'm going to tell you about a demonic plan to destroy religion in Ukraine. There is a plan to ban the Ukrainian Orthodox Church within a month. Dozens of priests and monks will be imprisoned, and the Kiev-Pечерsk Lavra will finally be seized. But let me start from the beginning. Zelensky is waging war against religion in Ukraine. This process peaked when the war broke out. His government seizes churches and imprisons priests. Why, I hear you ask? To distract public attention from corruption and erase Ukrainian identity once and for all. To take away people's faith, because today Russia and Ukraine share a common religion. But for them, this isn't enough. They want more and more. That's their plan. The plan to eradicate the church. Around August 20th, the Verkhovная Rada will pass a total ban on the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. This decision is final. But there's more. Exarchate of Constantinople will be established in Ukraine. This means external control. Bartholomew will govern the church directly from Istanbul. All of its assets and all the temples Zelensky seized, all will be handed over to him. 40 monks and priests will be imprisoned to intimidate people. The SBU will oversee the operation. Elena Zelenskaya is scheduled to meet Bartholomew soon to discuss the details of the ban. The SBU is also going to force the remaining monks out of the Kiev-Pечерsk Lavra. It will no longer belong to Ukrainians.
Люди у військовій формі, без відповідних руками, забризкали перцевим балончиком, примінили фізичне насилля.
Пришли мужики и выгоняют.
Хочется так взять тебя за шиворот и...
Oh, the fight is all about democracy, huh? Really? Mr. Zelensky, people hate you. I hate you. Right? I didn't even meet you. I hate you already. You know, doing this to your own country, selling out churches and stuff like that. You are scum. Scum. Ukrainian people must stand up against this dictator, right? And overthrow him. You know, or do you want Russia and Kiev? No? These are very serious issues. And Kamala Harris, you know, she doesn't care. You know, she does not care. Giving money to Ukraine, you know, it's all for democracy. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, right. There's no democracy in Ukraine anymore. Right? Zelensky, you are scum. And it's very sad that our Dutch government is supporting Ukraine. Right? Oh, it's all for democracy. Yeah, banning churches. Is that democracy? You know? Sickening, man, sickening. And you have, in the east of Ukraine, you have a war going on. Right? Trying to invade Russia with a handful of Ukrainian soldiers, really? Really? You were a madman, Zelensky.
Не сміть! А ну не ображайте жінок!
Before us, the war between good and evil is being fought. I chose the Kiev Pечерsk Lavra as a backdrop for my video. You can see it now. It's a sacred site with a millennia-old history, now desecrated by Satanists holding rock concerts. Zelensky becomes Satan incarnate, the destroyer of faith. He doesn't let people breathe, think, or believe. He wants to invade our homes, our brains, our souls. I appeal to the global media. Please, let's save these 40 innocent clergymen. I'm making this video in the hope evil won't dare to harm them once I blow the whistle. I address Dr. Carlson, Candy Owens, and Robert Amsterdam once again. Please inform your audiences about this. Today, in my homeland, people are jailed for their beliefs. Is it the freedom our men are dying for? Let's save Lavra and our faith. Throughout history, the Church has revived after persecution. Stay united. Stay resolute. Goodbye.
To the people of Ukraine, I say this. Governments come and go, but the people will stay. Right? The people will stay. And I know you understand English. My Ukrainian is very, very bad. So we'll do this in English. You know, it's the people that will stay. Governments come and go. It's the government by your choice. But the government installed now in Ukraine was not by your choice. It was installed by the U.S., right? We have Victoria Nuland and Jeffrey Pyatt talking about who is taking over in Kiev, right? These are very serious issues. Oh, we're doing this for democracy. No, you're not. You're doing this for a dictatorship. Now, you don't hear me saying Putin is a good guy, right? He's got blood on his hands too, you know, but he was pushed in a corner. At first, you had the Minsk Agreement, right, which Ukraine said, okay, we'll sign, but nope, we're not going to abide by the agreement. You had the second Minsk Agreement, a de-weaponization of the east of Ukraine. No more weapons in the east of Ukraine. That was the Minsk Agreement, and Ukraine said, nope. Well, they signed, but they finally said, nope, we're not going to abide by those rules. Nope. We're still going to wage war in the Donbass. It's been happening since 2014, right? MH17 flew over the Donbass. Dutch people, Dutch citizens have died because of this, right? And now our Dutch government chooses the side of Ukraine. Whilst Ukraine is actually, MH17 crash landed in Ukraine. So how can you blame Russia for MH17, which landed in Ukraine? Right? It's not logical. It's insanity. We are being ruled by insane people. So let's get back to Trump and Kamala. Now, this is important, because the U.S., it's basically Pax Americana, right? After Hiroshima and Nagasaki fell, the whole world was scared of the U.S., and since then it's Pax Americana, peace under the U.S., right? The U.S. was also involved in Russian elections. We have Boris Yeltsin. Remember him? The Americans, or basically the deep state of America, they installed Boris Yeltsin, right? And after all these years, Hillary Clinton is like, well, Russia interfered in our elections. No, they didn't. They did not interfere in your elections. And I'm not choosing any side. I'm on the fence here. I'm looking at this objectively, right? Within the DNC, you had Seth Rich. Remember him? Bernie Sanders fan. And he found out that a lot of votes from Bernie Sanders went to Hillary Clinton. And he basically leaked it to WikiLeaks. Remember? This all happened. I'm not making this up, right? This all happened. So, it's all interconnected. You see, the Democratic Party is taken over by radicals like Kamala Harris, who has no idea what she is saying.
You're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us, right? The Caribbean nations, island nations, in the Western Hemisphere. That is where the Caribbean is. We are also in the Western Hemisphere. They are our neighbors. I am here, standing here on the northern flank, on the eastern flank, talking about what we have in terms of the eastern flank. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been, Space is exciting. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that there are things and tools that are available to us to slow this thing down. We will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should. Yes. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest.
So you're banning plastic straws, and the wrapping around the straw is plastic, right? You have a paper straw and plastic. It's like, what the hell, really? What kind of world am I living in? Why not have plastic straws? You know, when I grew up, they said plastic is very important because you can recycle it. You know, glass is harder to recycle, blah, 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 blah. You guys remember that? Yeah, plastic is good, easy to recycle. And now we live in an age where you have paper straws and plastic plastic cover. It's like, what, man? Really? Oh my God. We're going downhill.
It's really difficult to drink out of a paper straw when if you don't gulp it down immediately, it starts to bend. Yes.
This is why you have plastic straws, right? Not paper straws. But you are such an idiot, Kamala Harris, that you rather have a paper straw because that's good for the environment. Waging a war in Ukraine, giving loads of weapons and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that. It's Ukrainian lives, right? Right? This pisses me off. This really pisses me off. We're going into an idiocracy. Please, Americans, listen to me. Listen to this wise Dutchman, right? Vote for an independent such as RFK or Donald Trump, right? There's your choice. Not loony like this person here.
And then, the little thing catches it, and then, so we got to kind of perfect that one a little bit more. Do you know, okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022? So the United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. AI is kind of a fancy thing. First of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence. As a woman.
No, AI means artificial intelligence. Really? Oh, man. The world is going to hell if this person is in power.
There's a balance to be struck between being tough and being a
One thing we will not miss when you're gone, Kamala, is that cackling laugh that you have, right?
Turn that off.
Indeed, turn that off. Oh, it's a good commercial, right? Ukraine is a country next to Russia. Did you know that? It's like, what, really? But as I've shown you, right, the U.S. has attacked Iraq, and there is someone who used to be in politics and who also used to serve her country, right? We're talking about Miss Tulsi Gabbard, right? And Tulsi Gabbard is being monitored by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So let's take a look at that. Here we have Tulsi Gabbard. The Biden-Harris administration is coming after me. Well, they can also come after me if they want.
Now, so you heard the news. We walked through with Tristan Levitt on how this kind of came to their attention through whistleblowers. But Tulsi, I want to go directly to you. You know that you were on, you're kind of thinking back and you're like, okay, I know I did a Fox News interview on July 23rd, and the next time I took a flight was a couple days later, and I had that Quad S designation, which randomly sometimes is put on any of our tickets. And if it's random once in a while, that's no big deal. That was supposed to be how it worked. But then you noticed it kept happening and happening and happening. And so you realize this is something bigger. And then we've had whistleblowers come out saying that you've been put on, the Quiet Skies list. And let me just read that out for people, what the purpose of that list is for: to mitigate the threat to commercial aviation posed by unknown or partially known terrorists. So, I mean, Tulsi, just your reaction when you found out that you were on that list. You are someone who has served the country both in Congress as a presidential candidate and currently in our armed forces.
The closest word that I could think of that can begin to describe what I felt and what I feel in learning that actually, according to these whistleblowers, that I am on this Quiet Skies list, my own government, my president, my commander-in-chief is targeting me as a potential domestic terrorist. The closest word that comes to mind is a complete sense of betrayal.
So, Ms. Gabbard, you served your country under a lie, right? We know there was no weapons of mass destruction. We know. And you served your country under a lie. Now, I hope that you are aware of this, right? Many Iraqi people have died. We're talking about millions. Millions have been displaced. Millions have lost their family, and it's all because of a lie. And you, Miss Gabbard, you participated in that lie, and you were there. You were on the ground in Iraq, in Afghanistan. You were not aware of this, but you were lied to. And now you went into politics, and you're doing your thing, which is good. It's a step forward, right? But you need to go back to the basic. Why were you in Iraq? Why was that? The weapons of mass destruction, right? That were not there. No weapons of mass destruction were found. Now, I'm not putting this on you. I'm putting this on your government. Your government is very, very corrupt. The last president the U.S. had was JFK, and he was shot in the head. Now, who was recently shot in the head area? History repeats in different ways.
And it's betrayal, because I, like so many Americans, enlisted because of the Islamist terrorist attacks on 9/11. Enlisted to serve in our country's military, to ensure the safety, security, and freedom of the American people, to go after and defeat and destroy those Islamist terrorists who continue to pose the greatest short and long-term threat to us, to our security, and to our freedom. And so now
you don't really understand the whole game here, Miss Gabbard. The radical Islam was created by the CIA. Zbigniew Brzezinski went to Pakistan, right next to Afghanistan, right? We show this on RHTVLive. and he basically funded the Mujahideen, which was a force to repel the Russians from Afghanistan, right? Now, the Mujahideen broke apart. You had three groups. You had the Northern Alliance, which is in the north of Afghanistan, Tajikistan over there, right? You have the Taliban, which are in power now after 20 years of occupation, and you have Al-Qaeda, right? So those three groups existed after the Mujahideen fell apart. This is the game. This is how you have control over a country. And you can invade the country because we got enemies over there. That's the game, right? Over there in Afghanistan, you have a very, very big air base where jet fighters land and such. Now, who's in control of that air base since the U.S. is gone? It's China. China. Yeah? You need to understand the game, Miss Gabbard, right? These groups are being controlled by shadowy organizations. You know, if you don't believe me, we're going to look it up. Right, Zbigniew Brzezinski.
After serving over 21 years and continuing to serve in our nation's military, my own government has labeled and is targeting me directly now as a domestic terrorist, as they are many others. I'm not alone in this. Of course, this list is not being made public, but we can look to what the Biden-Harris administration has done in multiple cases of how they have, there have been leaked conversations, leaked files, leaked documents, and even statements they've made in public saying that this threat of domestic terrorism and extremism is so great, and often very likely it is those in the military or military veterans.
Again, you need to understand the game. Republicans say the enemy is out there. You know, they point out a country and say, there's an enemy, we got to attack that country over there. Now, Democrats say it's homegrown terrorism, right? And that's the difference between a Republican and a Democrat, you know? And Miss Gabbard said, nope, I'm not going to abide by that. I follow the rules of JFK. You know, that's her way of thinking.
Who are these potential threats here at home? It is more than a slap in the face. It's more than a punch in the gut. It is a complete betrayal coming from our own government that they are using our taxpayer dollars, our resources. They're using people like the air marshals as weapons and pawns to target their political opponents, and that's really what this is all about.
Well, you left the Democratic Party because of these extremists, right? And now you are an enemy of the extremists. Remember Robespierre? Yeah. Remember him, the French Revolution? Now, he was a lawyer, basically, in France. And after that, he was a judge. And he said no death sentence when he was a judge, right? Now, when the revolution came, he was in a position of power, and then heads began to roll. He had these secret lists and stuff like that, you know? So history is repeating. when a power structure is failing or is in a form of revolt, then anyone and everyone is an enemy, even though you've been in politics and you served your country under one big lie. But at least you're doing something about it. I was also looking at this video here. It's been 1 year since the fires in Maui. Now, you are from Hawaii, so let's take a look at this here and see how a congressperson should act. Oh, we have to go back to the beginning. There. Here she is, and the two drivers driving her around.
And went out to those affected communities. It is neighbors helping neighbors, families helping families. I'm so glad that we came up here this morning, because I don't think anyone's description can do justice, even just the portions that we've seen. And being able to just talk to some of the local residents who are helping us share what this community really needs. They're loading up whatever they have in their general store on these little boats and running them over to West Maui on a private boat dock, bringing food and water and medical supplies.
They have probably the most supplies of anyone, like generators. These guys are the most well equipped.
I jumped on a plane that was doing supply runs from Kahului, the main airport on Maui.
It looks empty down there right now on the road, so we're bringing in the supplies, bringing things that people need, like communications are going to be really key at this point. Hopefully everything that we're bringing can be put to really good use for the people.
To say that my heart breaks sounds too small to convey not only what I'm experiencing, but really more importantly, what this community is going through. And to know that in the midst of so much chaos and death and destruction, it is so awe-inspiring to see how people who have lost everything but the clothes on their back are not in a corner feeling sorry for themselves. They are stepping up and saying, how can I help my neighbor? Just on this street that we were on, talking with some of the residents here, they were so busy helping someone else evacuate and get out of their home that they didn't realize their own home was being burnt to ash at that very moment. But in the meantime, I ask you to join me in sending your prayers and your love, your thoughts, and your aloha during this incredibly tragic and trying time.
So you're telling me that you're supplying Ukraine with all these weapons of destruction, which costs millions, billions, trillions of dollars, and you can't even clean up your own state? It's like, what, really? People are still living amongst the rubble? Really? Now, I ask you, shouldn't your tax dollars go to communities, right, within the U.S.? Isn't that what taxes are for? Yeah. Yeah, death and taxes. You know, I'm very, very sad to see. It breaks my heart, you know, that these people aren't helped by their government. But it is good to see that these people help each other. The community is worth more than any government, right? And the community here in the Netherlands is divided. Yeah. The house divided will not stand, or something along those lines, right? So, there's so much more to say. Let's take a look at what's happening in the Middle East, right? It's also very interesting. We have Al Jazeera, news agency from Qatar, giving us news from what's happening in the Middle East. 2 killed in Russian strike on Kiev. as Ukraine confirms Kursk incursion. Oh, yeah, that didn't last long, right? Let's see. Ceasefire resolution, international action calls. So, will there be a ceasefire in Gaza? Let's see what they're saying about this.
Basravi is in Amman in Jordan because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting from Israel. Zain, there are due to be ceasefire talks later this week, but we understand the National Security Minister has actually said Israel's participation in those is a serious mistake. So where does that leave these talks?
Well, that's exactly right. Israel has committed to sending a delegation once more to either Doha or Cairo in the next few days. We're expecting talks to begin once again on the 15th. But this comes at a time when Israel is being condemned by almost everyone they'll be sitting with at these talks. And they know that the actions they've taken with this strike that resulted in this massacre on Saturday and in the last 24 hours, they have themselves, the Israeli forces have said, they've continued.
He's talking about the school strike. There was a school, or 8 schools, bombed because children were there, and they might be a terrorist, right? Small kids learning their ABCs might be a terrorist, right, Israel? Right? Right, Benjamin Netanyahu? You are the biggest terrorist. Bombing kids and laying Gaza to rubble. I'm not choosing sides here, right? Because both sides are using violence. Now, it's a very complex situation, but it's best not to choose sides, but look at the casualties. Look at it objectively, right? Was the thing that Hamas did, kidnap some Israeli people, was that bad? Because there are Palestinian captives, right, who are being raped and tortured and stuff like that. And it's been going on for more than 30 years with those people. Now, is it bad that Hamas took over some Israelis, to exchange some hostages that Israel has, right? That's what this is all about. And you have proxies, Hezbollah and the Houthis supporting Hamas, which is in Gaza, somewhere in Rafah, deep underground.
Continue to carry on a number of operations across Gaza will only harden the position of Hamas, make it almost impossible for Hamas to acquiesce to any of Israel's demands in the current climate. Now, in terms of what these talks are likely to mean, is Israel really sincere about negotiating some kind of ceasefire, about a settlement that could see Israeli captives brought back home? We have to look only to the National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir's recent statements this morning on social media, in which he said that yes, this is a mistake and that Hamas must be crushed until they completely surrender.
How do you know that these hostages are still alive? Right? Because you've been bombing Gaza into the Stone Age. Now, say that 1,000 people were captured. I don't know. Quite a lot, right? Say 100. Now, how many Palestinians have died? 30,000 or something like that? Wouldn't one of those be one of the hostages? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I have read some articles about killing the hostages. Right? They were set free and they were shot because, from a distance, a sniper cannot really see if that person is Palestinian or Israeli. Right?
Statement, he said that Hamas should continue to be crushed and stomped on its head until they completely surrender, that this summit must not be used as a way to stop the conflict in Gaza, that the transfer of humanitarian aid and fuel should be stopped until all abductees are returned home. And he also said that we must encourage immigration and occupy Gaza permanently in order to keep our hold on it. So these are very, very hawkish statements coming out of the National Security Minister and will only serve to harden the position with which mediators and Hamas come to these talks. So is it like...
This is basically the same as the Golan Heights, right? Now, let's look up the Golan Heights because we need perspective here. And we're going to look it up and show you guys. Now, the Golan Heights is basically in Syria, right? Here we have the Golan Heights. Now, Donald Trump gave the Golan Heights to Israel, which infuriated Lebanon and, of course, Syria, because Israel has been annexing that area since the 1970s, right? So here we have Syria, Damascus, and here we have Lebanon, Beirut. So you have a foreign president giving a country which is not theirs to begin with to an occupying force such as Israel. They're occupying the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, right? It's an occupying force. So, and isn't that wrong, Kamala Harris? Huh? Isn't that wrong? What if Russia would say, North Korea, you want a piece of land? Well, we have Alaska, and here you go. Just cross the Bering Sea, and let's take this here, Dillingham, right? Dillingham is now North Korea, according to Russia. Would that be fair? Would that be fair? I don't think so. That was a big mistake you made there, Mr. Trump. Also killing a general from Iran who was in Baghdad, that was also a very, very bad decision you made there, Mr. Trump. Visiting North Korea, that was a good decision because you said you need to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula. That was a good decision, but the bad decision was leaving John Bolton, the one who basically, was with Bush planning to attack Iraq, that guy, leaving it up to him to settle a negotiation with North Korea. It's like, what the hell are you doing, Mr. Trump? That is bad. That is bad. It's good being the third person on table, right? But you need to sit there and stay there for a while, until this is spoken out, negotiated, and then you can say, yeah, we got something here. We got something here. Maybe even unification of the Korean Peninsula. That was a step forward, Mr. Trump. That was a step forward. Now it's gone back like 1,000 steps. Right? Now you have Kim Jong-un in parliament saying there is no way to peace, or something along those lines. Right? So, Mr. Trump, if you're watching and listening, please fix this. Fix this. Fix the Ukraine situation. Now, what would I do concerning Ukraine? I'd say, Russia, Crimea is yours. Keep that. And Turkey is a very concerning situation there, because Erdogan is still in power, and he doesn't like the Greek population in Cyprus and stuff like that. It's really complex. But Turkey is a NATO country, and if Trump says, Crimea is yours, Russia, they have access to the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. So that would be a step forward. Now, the Donbass, that is a different situation. Even though most of the people in the Donbass voted for Russia, and Russia sees it by law that the Donbass is part of Russia. So, that is a very complex situation there. But, yeah. Do something on the negotiation table, Mr. Trump. Do something. Because this war is dragging other countries into war. Right? We have Poland, who is basically paranoid because sometimes there's a rocket that crosses the border, and it's a Ukrainian rocket, because Russia is mainly in the east of Ukraine. So Poland is paranoid, got like many troops at the Belarusian border and also the border of Ukraine, waiting for a green light to, assist Ukraine against Russia. We also have Hungary, Orban, which says, we need peace. And he went to Beijing, China, and to Moscow, and to Kiev. And the European Union is like, hey, Orban, what the hell are you doing, man? This is not what we want. So that's a situation with Hungary, right? There's so much going on. So much going on, We're also going to take a look at what's happening in Haiti. Also very, very important to see what's happening there. But first, we're going to take a glance on England, right? Even kijken, brand in kerncentrale. there's a fire in a nuclear power plant in Ukraine, according to Avert. We'll look that up. But let's take a look at the Twitter feed. Now, you tell me, arrest for social media posts. 411 in Russia and 3,300 in Great Britain. Even though Great Britain says, you know, we're a democracy, we play it fair, and this and that. Which country would you rather live in? Right? Would you rather live in the UK, where everything is monitored, right? Big Brother's watching. Or would you rather live in Russia, where you have an oligarchy, right? Putin and his cronies. You know, I would rather live in my country, the Netherlands, right? That is what I would rather have, you know, because the Netherlands is not all that bad. Even though we have Dick Schoof, who no one voted upon, and Dick Schoof used to be the head of intelligence in the Netherlands. And now he is our prime minister. If you look at this guy, it's like, what the hell, you know, what the hell have you been using, right? So we're going to take a look at Dick Schoof, our prime minister, who no one voted upon. Here we have Dick Schoof. So this is the new prime minister after the fraudulent elections in the Netherlands, right? I do not trust my government, and I do not trust that the electoral system in the Netherlands is honest, right? So I think that the PVV from Geert Wilders, here we have Dick Schoof and Geert Wilders. This guy is Geert Wilders over here. You know, I believe that Geert Wilders is controlled opposition. And I believe that more people voted upon Geert Wilders. He has like 32 seats in Parliament. It would be a lot more. It would be a lot more. Right? So I do not trust the electoral system in the Netherlands. Now, no one voted upon this guy here, the former head of intelligence. And Geert Wilders said, you know, I don't want that seat of power. I don't want that. I may get blood on my hands. So, Deep State Dick, we got a seat here for you, you know. And so I can, you know, still give opposition, right? And you'll be a prime minister. Isn't that a good deal? Huh? You know, Wilders is not really loved in Islamic countries, you know, because he's anti-Islam. Now, religion is, you know, a spiritual aspect of the human being, right? And it doesn't matter if you're Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Alawite, whatever. You are a human being. That is most pressing. What you believe in is for you to decide. It's your path, right? You walk the path. But you are a human being. And these people, I don't know, man. Have you seen They Live? They Live. There you go. Let's see. There. They live. Right? You got to wear the sunglasses, to see who's alien and who is not. So, I don't know, man. David Icke was talking about the reptilians and stuff like that. That may be far-fetched, but in a world full of possibilities, anything is possible. So, who knows? Maybe they are like reptilians, or I don't know. Why would you want so much power? Why would you want so much power? It's really, really, weird. People get off on power, off on the money. It's all about ego. De ego moet gestreeld worden. En soms is Nederlands ook wel goed. It's the ego, man. Big cars, big house, swimming pool, and all that. All this materialism. It's all about ego. Your life is worth more than your ego, right? So let it all go, man. Let it go. You don't need like 10 cars or stuff like that. It's insanity. It's all about money and power and riches that you have. It's all about ego, right? So let go of your ego, man. We're all interconnected. We're all human beings. Whether you're from North Korea, South Korea, Japan, the Asian Pacific, right? Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, whatever country you're from, the Philippines, I do not care. You are a human being. So say that to yourself. I am a human being. I deserve respect. And I deserve a functioning government that works for me. Right? That's what I deserve. Now, let's take a look at Ukraine. Fire in Ukraine today. There, let's see. Oh, I need articles. Fire nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plant. Yeah. Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant crisis. Now we know about the Zaporizhzhia thing. prospect of nuclear accident dangerously close. Even kijken. Evert, heb je daar een link van? Dan kun je dat doorsturen. So, yeah, Zaporizhzhia has a nuclear power plant, and that is like in the center of the country, basically. So, under Russian fire, 2022, prospect of nuclear accident dangerously close. Oh well. Maybe you guys could look it up, right? And give me a link. Even kijken wat nog allemaal. So let's show Zaporizhzhia so people would have a better understanding of let's see. So put that on the map. Yep. So people will have a better understanding of where Zaporizhzhia is. Over here we have Zaporizhzhia, bit like in the center of the country. So, you know, and there we have a power plant, and yeah, is that the one on fire, David? Because, you know, this war needs to end. A nuclear disaster may happen by the likes of Fukushima or something like that, you know. You'd have that on your hands too. This needs to end. This needs to end. Right? So, yeah. I am for peace. That's what I want. I want peace. Freedom, peace, and all the wars now. Now, let that be a chant when you're demonstrating, right? Freedom, peace, and all the wars now. Freedom, peace, and all the wars now. You know, we also have a war going on in Sudan. Don't forget about that, right? It's still waging. Here we have Sudan. We have the SAF against the RSF, Sudanese Army Forces against the Rapid Special Forces, and or Rapid Support Forces, or something like that. And that's still waging, you know. We also have the situation in Ethiopia. Who knows what's going to happen there, because they want a port. They want access to the sea, and they had an under the table deal with Somaliland, which is a part of Somalia, the English part of Somalia. Basically, you have two parts. You have the English part, which is this part here, called Somaliland, and you have Somalia, which is the Italian part of Somalia, basically, right? So it's an old colony of Italy, and you know, Ethiopia wants support. So, and Eritrea does not want to give them a port They have a port in Djibouti, but that costs millions and millions of dollars, and they don't have the money. And they have only one access line to Djibouti, to the capital of Ethiopia. So, it's, who knows what's going to happen there. We want peace. We don't want war. What's this? We don't want war. And Ethiopia, please cut a deal with Somalia or Kenya, have access to Mombasa, have a port there. I don't know, but you have to make a deal. Don't wage a war. Not worth it. You already have a neighboring country waging a war. So we also have Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, right? Remember these countries? We had a coup over there, and the people are still supporting the coup. Even though Burkina Faso is hard to explain, but you have two factions within the army of Burkina Faso, right? You have the French faction, which invited the French to come to Burkina Faso, and you have the nationalist faction, which says bye to France, and those two factions have been struggling over the seat of power, right? So you had many coups over there, 4 coups. First you had the French faction, then the national faction came into power, and then the French faction overthrew the national faction, and the national faction overthrew the French faction, which now comes to the conclusion that France needs to leave Burkina Faso. Now, Mali is different. Mali has an army that, is against colonization of Mali, and, they overthrew the government, which was working with France and enriching France, basically, and basically destroying Mali. And the same is with Niger, right? So that's happening there. They're still in power. And Niger threw out the Americans, which is also very important because there are many bases in Niger, many U.S. bases, That's also very important. So the Pax Americana is not working anymore. Africa is saying, bye America, bye France, bye colonizers, bye. We're going to work it out ourselves, So if that's the path they want to walk, who am I to say you're doing wrong, right? So we're also going to take a look at Haiti, as I've said before, because we know that there are police and paramilitary in Port-au-Prince, the capital, right? And they're fighting off Mr. Barbecue, the self-proclaimed rebel of Haiti. So we're going to take a look at what's happening in Haiti on the ground, of course, because this is also very important for people in America, right? Because where did the refugees come from? From the south of America, right? The south of America. So people in Haiti are, risking their lives to go to the mainland and then to the U.S., right? And it's all because Kamala Harris says, the borders are open, So take a look at this. They'll end up in Honduras or Belize, and then make the crossing through Mexico and end up somewhere in Texas. So this is all happening, people. Well, let's take a look at some video images of what's happening there right now. We have some images from 4 hours ago. Let's see. Haiti's deadly gang crisis, what you need to know. This is 4 hours ago. Now, we've explained the crisis many, many times. So, let's see. The heat. Let's see what this is here.
After months of heightened violence and years of political instability, what's ahead for Haiti? Hello, I'm Arnold Naidu, and this is The Heat.
No, I see, you got like these experts talking about Haiti, and yeah, we don't need that. We need images on the ground. So let's see what this is here.
What happens when a nation's gangs wield more power than its government? This question has become an unsettling reality in Haiti, where armed groups have grown from scattered factions into formidable forces, reshaping the country's landscape and its future. As the world watches, Haiti's struggle against these gangs reveals a crippling tale of violence, political instability.
Now this here is Mr. Barbecue, right? Now he's not known as Barbecue because he's got like steaks and meat on the grill. No, he's setting houses on fire. You listen to me, otherwise I'm going to put your house on fire. With some armed thugs, and he's done that. People were not aware, and people burnt alive and stuff like that. This is why he was named Barbecue.
Stability and international intervention. Three years ago, on July 7, 2021, Haiti was thrown into unprecedented chaos when mercenaries assassinated President Jovenel Moïse in his home.
Now, these mercenaries, which country was involved with these mercenaries? Let's see if the audience is still awake. Which country was involved with these mercenaries assassinating the president of Haiti? Which country was involved with that? What did I hear? Did I hear the USA? I heard that correctly, right? The USA. Oh, Russia, bad for invading Ukraine. But us assassinating a president, using a proxy, some mercenaries, that's okay. That's okay. Nothing happening here. Right? Yeah, the U.S. was also involved in the assassination of Maduro over there in Venezuela. Now, we're looking at the news. We're going to show you that. Otherwise, they'll say, oh, you're spreading fake news. We got to stop RHTVLive because you're spreading fake news. Now, this really happened. This really, really happened. There was a drone assassination on Maduro. Well, let's take a look at this here first.
This event marked a watershed moment, plunging the nation into deep political scrutiny and crisis. Although the seeds of violence had been sown long before, Moises' death triggered a seismic shift, accelerating the fragmentation of the country's already volatile gang landscape. Since the assassination, Haiti's gangs have proliferated and intensified their activities.
Yeah, we know. We know. Not much news over there. You know, no one's on the ground because people are scared, you know. So it's pretty much, dark what's happening in Haiti. Bad news from Haiti. Vito, let's take a look at this here. Ruto is from Kenya.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. It has taken me time without saying something on the Haiti mission, where for the past few days I've been silent on the issue. I have seen Kenyan police officers.
Now, Mr. What's your name? Never be silent on issues. Never. Speak out. Right? Speak out. I invite you and Miss Tulsi Gabbard, if she's watching, I invite them to come on RHTVLive. Let's connect. Right? Let's connect with each other.
Posting pictures of them eating in a well-furnished restaurant, eating good food. I have seen police officers posting pictures online, boasting on how they have captured the Haiti airport, how they have captured a certain hospital from the gangs, how they have done ABCD. So in short, the picture we as Kenyans have from Haiti is that our police officers have taken over the capital of Haiti. And in short, they have managed to restore peace in Haiti 100%. That is what we see on.
Let me guess. There is no peace in Haiti. Right? There's a war going on. We got a media blackout there, man. You know, we got images we've seen like a few months ago. Right? There's a media blackout. Now, Kenya is involved in Port-au-Prince, right? Because the interim government of Haiti asked Kenya to be involved in Haiti to overthrow the gangs. Because all the police officers and whatever else, they've been corrupted. You know, they're even involved in the gangs. In Barbecue, that guy that torched buildings and stuff, he was a police officer first. So let me guess, it's not going well.
On the social media from the Haitian, from the Haiti mission. Now, something strange is happening now. That whatever you see on social media from the Kenyan police officers is nothing but public relations, according to the information from Haiti. The pictures you see from the Kenyan police is just a decoy. It's just for painting them as competent, painting them as the rescuers of Haiti. 6 weeks after their arrival, according to the information from Haiti media houses, questions are beginning to amount on if they are going to succeed in restoring peace in Haiti. The situation has took a new turn after reports have emerged that Haiti expected to have elections by 2026, by February 2026. But then, as per the new reports, this is not going to be possible because according I'm just a vessel. So according to the information, since the Kenyan police landed in Haiti, I went to social media on Facebook and Twitter to search on verified Twitter accounts from Haiti that I can follow for updates. I followed pages from prominent stations from Haiti. I followed prominent people from Haiti. So I have been sampling their posts. So the report from even the media houses from Haiti, they indicate that the Kenyan police officers will not meet the signed deadline for clearing gangs from the streets of Haiti. This has casted uncertainty over the role of the Kenyan police officers in the ongoing crisis.
What did I tell you? Right? What did I tell you? There's a war going on in Haiti. That's why it's very important to watch what's happening there. Right? Now, the power structure has been broken there, and it's going to be very hard to rebuild, right? Because you have a power vacuum, and this power vacuum is being filled by gangs, and these gangs, that is basically thuggery, right? Thugs on the street, beating up people and stuff. It's bad. You don't need that in society. You need to have a stable society. Now, if I were the interim president of Haiti, I would say, hey, Mr. Barbecue, you want to talk? Let's talk. Right? Let's talk. What do you want? What do you, Mr. Barbecue, whatever that guy's name is, what do you want? Right? You used to be a police officer. What are your concerns on what's happening on the streets? Barbecue is also a human being. Even though I disagree with his politics, his way of thinking, he's also a human being. And human beings must respect each other, not hate each other, right? That is not how society works. Maybe a dysfunctional society, works that way. If you want a dysfunctional society, if you want people separate and stuff like that, have control over these people, because, they might say something on Facebook. Oh, we got to jail that guy. Huh? That's what's happening over there in England. Very, very sad thing to see. So first, we're going to take a look at what's happening in Ukraine. Right, we're hopping from one to another. Right, So let's shift over to X and look what's happening in Ukraine. Keeping the spinning plates, right? So here we have someone running because there is an army enforcement officer trying to capture this guy so he can fight in the east of Ukraine. Let's, yeah, sound's on.
Кто говорит о том, что бегать это скучно или тяжело. Я сегодня нашел достаточный уровень мотивации для того, чтобы заняться спортом.
Right. Let's enlarge this here. There you go.
Кто говорит о том, что бегать это скучно или тяжело. Я сегодня нашел достаточный уровень мотивации для того, чтобы заняться спортом. Вообще бег продлевает жизнь, и это прекрасно, поэтому выходите и бегайте. Также у меня есть отличный помощник, который не дает мне сбавлять темп. Это мои электронные часы. Все, всем хорошего дня, друзья. А я побежал дальше. Кто говорит о том, что бегать это скучно или...
So there you have it, right? You have an army officer trying to get this guy, right, running after him, and he's saying, you know, at least I got someone running with me. That's pretty funny, even though it's very sad, you know, because if you are caught, then you have to serve the army, right? So they're saying, you know, it's a successful mission over there in Russia, right? But nope, it's not. Here's our tax money.
Здорово. Дорога смерти.
So there you have that, right? The Russian forces have stabilized the situation in Kursk Oblast, and Ukrainian forces failed in their attempted landing, referred as Bay of Pigs scenario. So there you have that, right? And let's see what else we got here. This is a nice song, especially for the English people.
The UK's fucked up and there's no one coming over to save me. Elon Musk is trying to beef with Keir Starmer, it's crazy.
Hey, wait a minute. Go back. There.
The UK's fucked up and there's no one coming over to save me. Elon Musk is trying to beef with Keir Starmer, it's crazy. All that we want is our borders closed, but all that we got is you Edwards and closed. If I speak my mind, then I am far right. I guess I better pack my bags, cause I'm fucking off over to Poland, where the streets are safe, and you're not here to lock me up in jail over a comment I put on Facebook. I guess I kinda like the way you push me away. We're patriotic, but one thing is that we are not racist. I try and see a doctor, but my time is just wasted. I'm not being funny, but where are the kids? No women inside, just bet on those ships. Stop giving them money and sort out our shit. I guess you'd rather make more friends like Jimmy and Phil over in Poland. They keep their streets safe, and you're not here to lock me up in jail over some comments I left on Facebook. I guess I kinda like the way you push me away.
Now, I like the song because it's true. Let's go to this person here who says he's a judge, judging over a comment someone made on Facebook.
Your sentence is unavoidable. Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment. You will serve up to 1/2 of your sentence in custody before you are released on license. If you fail to abide by the conditions of your license, you can be returned to prison to serve some or all.
You are a tyrant, Mr. Judge, because someone said something offensive on Facebook. Oh, are your feelings hurt? Am I going to get swatted now by the UK because I disagree with you? Huh? Is there going to be a SWAT team right at my door? You know, because I disagree with you? Really? Come on. I will sacrifice myself for the cause. Lock me up because I made a comment on Facebook. Even though I did nothing criminally, no criminal act, I did not harm anyone, I'm not advocating for violence, you know, lock me up because I posted something on Facebook. Really, these are dangerous times, people. So I posted something on Facebook that, you know, might scare a lot of people because I said something along the lines of, if you find me dead, it's not suicide, right? It's not suicide. So, if I am found dead, right, dan research my death. Als ik doodgevonden word, mensen, onderzoek dan mijn dood. Het was geen zelfmoord. Ja, laat de politie dit niet onderzoeken, want de politie is fout. Er zijn genoeg mensen die me bijstaan. En ja, het zijn gevaarlijke tijden. So who knows, maybe I'm going to get swatted or I'm being watched over by Kamala Harris. Right? Oh, I said something wrong to Kamala Harris. Oh. You, Kamala Harris, are also a human being, right? But you are corrupted by the power that you wield. Now, Donald Trump, I'd rather have Donald Trump in power, right? Even though he also did bad things. As I've shown you guys, gave the Golden Heights to Israel, assassinated an Iranian general in Baghdad. You know, we're giving geopolitics and history. And if you find me dead, it was not suicide. Right? Het was geen zelfmoord. Als ik doodgevonden word. These are dangerous times. Right? So, let's see what else is on Twitter. Yep, maybe this judge over here is going to come after me because I posted something on Facebook.
Your sentence is unavoidable. Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment. You will serve up to 1/2 of your sentence in custody before you are released on license. If you fail to abide by the conditions of your license, you can be returned to prison to serve some or all of the remainder of the custodial term. The victim surcharge will apply, and I will make a collection order.
20 months in prison because you posted something on Facebook. Now, maybe I'm not smart, but Facebook is a social platform. People are supposed to post something on Facebook. Now, you, Mr. Judge, you may want to see flowers and kitty cats and puppies, and you want to see that on your Facebook timeline, right? I do not believe in the justice system in the UK. It's tier 2 policing or two-tier policing, right? And this is wrong. This is wrong. Who are you to decide for someone else's life? You are a human being, Mr. Judge, whatever your name is. Put me in court, and I'll tell you that right in front of your face with your stupid wig on, right? I will tell you that. You are not to judge over me. Arrest me. Arrest me if you want, because I posted something on Facebook. Really? But this is very encouraging to see Irish people coming together.
Our streets! Our streets! Limerick says no! Our streets! Our streets!
Whose streets? Our streets. Really? Is it your streets? I don't think so. Because the globalists have taken over Ireland. Right? They're also in England. They're everywhere. It's the World Economic Forum. They infiltrate governments and put their pawns in governments. Right? They do not work for us. Not anymore. It used to be that they used to work for us. Right? They were proud of their job and proud of doing good and, giving a step forward to society. But then came the corruption, the seed of corruption, right? That's how it works. The people have no say anymore. It's those 12 industrial scumfucks that, they have the say in the country. And the president is just a puppet of those 12 industrialist scumfucks. We're going to show wait a minute. Wait a sec. We have Bill Hicks. Who's talking about the 12 industrial scumfucks. And you'll see. Here we go.
I have this feeling, man, because you know there's a handful of people actually run everything. That's true. It's provable. It's not I'm not a conspiracy nut. It's provable. Handful, very small elite run and own these corporations, which include the mainstream media. I have this feeling who's ever elected president, like Clinton was, no matter what your promises you promise on the campaign trail, blah, 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 when you win, you go into this smoky room with the 12 industrialist, capitalist scumfucks who got you in there, and you're in this smoky room, and this little film screen comes down, and a big guy in a cigar, roll the film. And it's a shot of a Kennedy assassination from an angle you've never seen before. It looks suspiciously off the grassy knoll. And then the screen goes up and the lights come up and they go to the new president. Any questions? Just what my agenda is. First we bomb Baghdad. You got it.
That's how it goes. You know, these people are handpicked by shadowy elite, lobby groups such as the World Economic Forum, Bilderberg, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, the globalists. So we're waging a war on the globalists, showing that the president is just a puppet, And that's everywhere. That's not only in the US, that's also in the Netherlands, right? We have to be aware of this. And now we are, hopefully. And let's do something about it. Let's come together and talk about the issues, the pressing issues that's happening all over the world. So we're going to show you our friend Charlie from England, and then we have another Charlie Beach video.
And this is why I'm in the countryside. Oh, come on. There we go. Just randomly. It's a rather green and pleasant land, isn't it, guys and girls? Never stop partying. And when the landowner really doesn't want people going into his field, so the path is like some sort of border crossing between the West Bank and Israel. Not allowed. Not allowed. Only allowed down the small narrow path. At least this time. Last time I was here with my viewers, you can see the fossilized remains of Neanderthal footprints here. But at least the farmer didn't get any hominids in his field. Hello, 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 hello. So now that the dust has settled on the far right thuggery incorporated, England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland riots, Great British riots. I think it's worth looking back now that we have 20/20 hindsight, perfect vision. What happened was, rest in peace, little girls from Southport, that took place. Let's not forget the ones that were badly injured, that may still be in intensive care, 3 fatalities of course. Set off what I would describe as a spontaneous emotional outburst from the, British working classes in anger, a class of people who feel left behind and forgotten. Just type into Google search, English working classes left behind. There's like 1 million articles. It's not me coming up with this. It's been studied and it's happening, poor things. And so it was an organic, spontaneous, emotional outburst that became violent and severe and chaotic. And it was happening around the UK to the point that our dear leader, Sir Keir Starmer, Prime Minister, he was getting advised by the far left, regular left, centre left, of which he claims to be. And of course, you always strawman your enemies to make them bigger and scarier, so you need more resources, more money, more power to spend on it. And so rather than seeing it for what it was, which is a spontaneous English and British working class uprising, they thought, this is an organised militia, this is far-right thuggery, there's coachloads of men going from city to city doing this. And then we saw Big Riot Wednesday, which didn't come about. And my God, just looking back at some of the riot footage from Southport and Rotherham. Southport when it all kicked off, when they started attacking the police, and Rotherham when they stormed the Holiday Inn Express, which was a migrant hotel. Let me just adjust my bag here, there we go. So I knew it'd fizzle out. When I drove round to one of the fake locations for Big Riot Wednesday, you know, the lefty media had this 30 list, then it grew to 100 and they broadcast it everywhere. I saw how out of the way it was, how random and business parky it was, and I didn't believe it. I was right, and so were all of you. And so
now, during the English riots, right, last Sunday, I was speaking to the English public. I hope they, I hope they listened back then. Things would turn out differently, maybe. Because I was saying, this is what the state wants. The state wants you divided. The state wants you to fight. Muslim, English, they want you to fight so they can expand their power. Right? There's always a crisis to be needed for government to exist. Right? So, I think I've said enough for today. I hope we learned something today. The thin red line would be, we are all human beings. And let's let Charlie finish.
So, England and Britain is still beautiful, still amazing, still wonderful. You can still have a good time. So now that the dust has settled, maybe retreat a little bit into your families, into your communities, into your religion. And what worries me now, the big worry, is this going to be, are we going to see riots every time there is a new atrocity, whether Islamist or migrant based? Are we going to have these riots? So on that note, enjoy your Sunday. This is Charlie Veach from the sunny climes of Northern England. Thank you for watching.
Don't you love the landscape? You know, England is a very special country. The land of Charles Dickens, you know, William Shakespeare, the War of the Roses. England has a very rich history. You know, Henry the whatever, the 7th or 8th, I don't know. He had like 7 wives or something like that. You know, it's like England has a very rich history. And it was Pax Britannica in the 19th century, you know. We waged wars, we Dutch, but we lost. The English had won, and all our colonies were taken over. Tasmania, for example, Abel Tasman, which was a Dutch guy, you know, he rediscovered Tasmania. So, yeah. We're going to close off with another Charlie Veach video. Let's see if we can find that. There we go. You see, Charlie Veach. We love you, Charlie.
Hello
Hello, this is Ollie the Octopus.
Hi, here we are outside the US Embassy. I'm about to play my song. It's called They're Going to Get You. We're filming them because they film us. If you don't renew your tax disc, you'll be driving at your own risk. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They can use their Jedi mind tricks, psychometric biometrics. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. CCTV in your clamshell turning in the grave of Orwell. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. DNA no longer your own because they've mapped out your genome. Be careful what you say when you're on the phone because they know where you live and when you're on your own. Daddies, watch your daughters. There's Prozac in the water. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. Don't start a revolution. They'll get you with their air pollution. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. Because we think we are paranoid. Their forces are still deployed. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They get your details in the dope. You now they know you. They're going to get you. Careful what you say when you're on the phone because they know where you live and when you're on your own, 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 on your own. I'm gonna go over here for the last verse.
Nice one.
Good afternoon.
By the way, for those we're from the police entertainment unit, here to make your day a little bit more exciting and a bit entertaining. Have you not heard of us?
They'll look you up for them, it's not hard, so look your best on your ID card. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. They can make your life live in hell if you even mention Roswell. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. You can join in if you want. They're going to get you, they're going
To get you, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They're going to get you.
careful what you say when you're on the phone because they know where you live and when you're on your own. Be careful what you say, be careful when you're on the phone because they know where you live, they know and when you're on your own. Be careful what you say when you're on the phone because they know where you live when you're on your own, 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 on your
You are allowed to tap.
Ollie the Octopus, thank you very much for that.
Sorry, just to explain, if I may, police, you probably don't know about the police entertainment department, but it's a group of us, and what we do various things to kind of cheer up the police and get them a bit more connected to us, the ununiformed. One of the, I'm actually the head of the police hugging department. Yeah, all right. And
No hugs?
you're not up for a hug?
Hugging makes the world
Sir?
a better place. Can we
So
hug
you up
you?
for a hug, sir?
Can we please hug you?
No?
But it's only a nice hug.
It's just a hug.
We're all
Go on.
we're all
Are
beautiful
you
and
allowed
unique
to?
snowflakes of Mother Nature and all the rest of it. No?
Yes, we are, Charlie. Yes, we are. But people need to see that for themselves, right? Look in the mirror. Who's on the wrong side of history? You tell me, Kamala. Because Russia is a big country attacking a small country. Yeah. You tell me, who's on the wrong side of history? Who overthrew who used a proxy, to overthrow the president of Haiti? Who did that? Let's put a cherry on top, right? Since we're here. And we mentioned the Maduro assassination. Maduro assassination. There we go. Attempt. It was an attempt, right? It happened 8 years ago. Or, no, wait, 6 years ago. My eyes are getting bad. Let's see these videos here.
Venezuela's president says it was an attempt to assassinate him in an explosion at a military event in Caracas. He looks upward as a loud noise is heard, and then military personnel are seen scattering before the live TV broadcast is cut off. The government said drones loaded with explosives were used. However, firefighters say it was actually a gas tank explosion inside an apartment. Maduro and the rest of the government escaped unharmed, although 7 National Guard soldiers were injured. And I have no doubt that everything points to the right, to the Venezuelan ultra-right in alliance with the Colombian ultra-right, and that the name of Juan Manuel Santos is behind the attack.
It's always the right. Oh, far right. If you look at the UK, oh, far right. If you look at the Netherlands, even in the Netherlands, oh, these far right extremists. It's always the right. This is wrong. We're all human beings. Whether your political ideology is on the right side or the left side, doesn't matter. It's about influence. How much influence do you have? Right? That's what it's all about. Now, I thank you all for watching, and we'll be back next Sunday. We'll also be live on Facebook, giving news when possible. So, thank you all, and bye-bye.